What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this POV review by Auto. My name is Max, and today we are in southern Italy to enjoy a first drive with the all-new Lamborghini Urus SE, the plug-in hybrid version of the Urus with 800 horsepower. You might have seen our video of the world premiere. If you haven't seen that yet and you want to do a deep dive, click in the top right corner. Today is about the drive, of course, and yeah, we have a couple really nice things in store for you today, because we are here now near the town of Nardo, but earlier today we were at the Nardo Technical Center, which is the testing facility, absolutely massive, owned by Porsche. Before that it was owned by the Fiat group, and it has a high-speed ring which is 12 kilometers long and 4 kilometers in diameter. The testing grounds are just absolutely massive, so it was really cool to be there, and we were able to drive on the gravel road as well, the Strada Bianca, and do some drifting as well, which was very, very cool. So today I'm going to start with a walk around, show you the spec, show you the things that have changed on the Urus SE, and then we'll take it for a drive around these parts. We might take it towards the sea, and I'll also show you the Strada Bianca gravel road and the drifting part. We've got, I don't know exactly the spec we've got today. I think this is the new Bianco Sapphires, and we've got the Terra Kedros interior, but they've got a lot of new colors available both for the exterior and the interior. They're aiming at 150 colors by 2025, which is kind of nuts. You can, you know, spec it the way you want. Of course, they also have the ad personam program where you can go even deeper and personalize even more, which is really cool. But exterior design wise, what do we have? We have new headlights with the tail of the bull incorporated basically in the daytime running light. I'll show that from this side. We've got new bigger air intakes for more air to go in, but also to kind of stretch out the front and make the front look a bit wider. We've got more black in the grille as well, and a floating bonnet that kind of culminates into this point with a line running across over the car, and you see that on the back as well, which is really cool. Wheel wise, this car has the new Galantis wheels, 23-inch wheels, absolutely massive, and around that the new Pirelli P0s with the velvet. It's really nice to touch, actually. This is a new tire developed specifically for the Urus SE. You can also see the Lamborghini logo right there, so that means that this tire is specifically designed for Lamborghini, which is nice. 285s at the front, 325s at the rear. You can also go for 21s or 22s, depending on how comfortable basically you want it to be. I think 21 or 23 is quite a big difference, so yeah. And behind that we've got carbon ceramic brakes with, in this case, red calipers, but you can have a lot of colors if you like. Continuing on, we've got not a lot of changes here. As I said, 325s. We've got air suspension as well. It can raise up to 75 millimeters, which is quite high. And then at the rear, as I said, you have that line running across. So you have the little spoiler that has the point. Then you have this part below, which is inspired by the Lamborghini Gallardo. This part right there, and then you have the trunk lid, and they moved the license plate down low, as you can see, to, well, to basically clean up this part, but also make the rear look wider and lower, which is super smart. Exhaust has been changed as well. I think they redesigned the back box to be less visible, so you don't have that big massive back box. So this looks actually pretty slim. And what else do you want to see? Maybe some interior as well. Look at that. So this is all ad personam. You can see the badge right here with a bit of carbon, but this is all covered in leather, which is really nice. The roof as well covered in that same brown leather. Absolutely lovely spec. I love this. This interior is exactly what I would order if I would order one. So let's take a look at the engine, because we've got the 4-liter V8 bi-turbo with 620 horsepower and 800 Nm of torque, which is aided by an electric motor that sits inside basically the ZF 8-speed transmission, which brings the total to 800 horsepower and 950 newton meters of torque, which is very nice. It has a lot of power, but something we've learned today is that the main thing they wanted to accomplish with this car is, one, you know, it had to be faster than before, but two, they also wanted to improve the driving experience and use the electrification, so use the hybridization process to also improve the driving experience, which they have done, and that is quite cool actually. So in here we've got a newly designed interior as well, with a new screen here. It used to be angled like that, but they kind of cleaned it all up, and now you have this main screen right here, and then you have your climate and stuff down here, which is, it works really well. Mostly because you still have a couple buttons right here. So Ego is your individual driving mode, but you also have traction control and volume down here, which is great. And all the most important things for driving modes is here, is also a physical button or a lever or something like that. So it's really great that you have physical buttons to operate that, because you can do it blindly and, you know, going fast. So as I've shown you in the intro video, this is the new driving mode setup. So you've got your driving mode lever here. These things are basically shaped to be, I think it's like an airplane thruster, right? It's like those things. I don't know if it's called a thruster, but that's a cool word. So you have your driving mode. So you have street, Strada, and then you have the EV part of the driving mode is hybrid, recharge, or performance. Depending on the driving mode, you have a couple options or one option available right there. So if I go to sport, I have only recharge and performance available. Go to Corsa, same thing. Go to sand, only performance mode available. Terra, which is dirt, also only performance mode available. And then snow, you have recharge available. It seems complicated, but it's really not once you get the hang of it. And then of course you have your park, manual, and your reverse over there, and your engine start stop button. It's very nice. The seating position is really good. It's nice and low. The steering wheel is really good. This is like spot on for an SUV. This is basically as close to a sports car as you can get, which is great. So let's start it up. We started up in Strada, which means that I think we're automatically in hybrid mode. So if I go to sport, it turns on the engine, which sounds really good. That's a proper sound. So what does all that technology and all that new stuff entail when you take it for a drive on a fun road? Well, we found pretty much the only fun road that they've got here in this area. You don't feel everything that is happening. So they have a new differential which sits in the middle, which is a hang-on clutch instead of a classic torsion diff. And that means that they have much more flexibility to distribute the power. Before they could only basically adjust with braking. Now they can also adjust with torque. So if you need more torque to the right rear wheel, they can do that because they have torque vectoring as well. So front and rear, that is. In sport mode, it sends more power to the rear. This is basically the fun mode. Corsa mode is more geared towards, well, the quickest lap times basically. So sport mode is the mode to go for. If you turn off traction control, you can also seriously drift this car. It is truly amazing the things this car can do, and that is down to a very clever algorithm that basically predicts what it thinks you're going to do or what you're going to want from the car. So if I turn in really hard and then floor the throttle, the car thinks, okay, you want to drift, let's send all the power to the rear, let's adjust the damping, let's adjust the anti-roll bars, let's adjust the rear wheel steering to give you a slide. And once you do that, it is truly amazing. even when you do like a slalom drift, those load changes, those transitions from left to right, it knows what to do, and it takes it like a champ. It is really, really impressive. And then you can actually also keep that slide going. It's not hopping, it's not skipping, it's truly insane. It is proper Lambo insanity, which I really like. So it adjusts all those parameters to make it feel as natural as possible, while also, you know, interfering 1,000 times per second probably. And that is the real victory of this car, because it weighs 2.5 tons, it's big, it's heavy, it's wide. It has no right being this good at corners and just drifting and just driving in general. Oh, and then it absolutely shoots off into the distance when you floor it. It's really quick. So it all sounds very complicated, and it is, but the beauty about it is that when I hit Strada right there, everything immediately quiets down. I go back to hybrid mode, so the EV power and the internal combustion engine are combined, and it does so in the most efficient way. The air suspension raises up, everything softens, and that means that you end up with a super comfortable and competent daily with an electric range of over 60 kilometers. It's practical, you know, it's spacious, it's a really nice car. Go back to Corsa though. Oh, and it turns into an absolute hooligan. The only thing I really don't like is the fake sound. It's way too loud, and it's a bit, I don't know, it's a bit over the top. It sounds a bit like a video game, like a racing video game from the 1990s. Oh, but it is very quick. And another thing I don't really like, let's just get that out of the way. If you drive in Strada mode and in hybrid, you have this electric sound. I don't know if you guys can hear that on camera, but it's always there, and it's a bit much. It's a bit too loud, and at some point we were driving for like an hour this morning, and at some point it just gets a little bit annoying. So it really is a car with many faces. They call it two hearts, and we got to experience the second heart, so like the hooligan heart on the gravel road or Strada Bianca earlier today. So this is the Strada Bianca, which is the development course for all these brands to develop their off-road vehicles, basically. It is a little test course. We're going to enjoy the Urus SE here. We're going for the Terra driving mode, which is perfect for these conditions, and then go into first gear and put the car in manual mode. Traction control is off, I think, but it's not all the way off, right? So the car still kind of decides for me how much I can do, but it does allow for a lot of play on this super soft slippery course. They also developed the Strada here. Of course, Martijn went here to drive that car, which he really enjoyed. And with the Urus, it is really cool to see and to feel, because we learned so much about the development of this car, what is happening underneath the car and how little you actually feel of what is happening. So that is their goal, of course, that, you know, the car sort of prevents you from one big fireball of a crash, but you don't really feel the interventions, and that is also down to that new clutch system. I don't really know the course yet. I've been here, I think, 2 times now, 2 laps, 4 laps maybe, but it's quite difficult to get to know the track because it all kind of looks the same. but I have a big cloud of dust behind me. This is a soft spot, I think. Yeah, so I just hit the brakes, yeah, and then use the throttle to power out of that.
Oh shit! Are you alive still?
This is a first gear corner, if I'm not mistaken. So I've already learned something today, which is that I need to tap the brakes. When I feel understeer, just tap the brakes and let the car rotate. And then you use the throttle to power out of it. This is a very soft spot as well. Then again, this is a first gear corner, I think. Tap the brakes, yeah, power out, second gear. Whoa, that is so good. The car is so quick. And because you have that electric power, it just picks up immediately. This is also 180 degrees. And this is all, mind you, on street tires. So this is not like some kind of special off-road tire. This is, oh, come on. This is just on street tires, these new Pirelli P0s. Wow. So the insane thing about doing this is how natural it feels. This is a 2.5 ton SUV. It is super high up, but the way the power distribution is done and the way the car sort of interjects everywhere to make you feel like you can actually do this is quite amazing. Brake, yeah, there we go. Oh, it's so cool how quick the car rotates. Oh. Yeah, this is insane. This car should not handle this well. It's way too big to be able to do stuff like this, but it just... Oh. It feels way smaller than it actually is. Also, there are a lot of bumps in here. Of course, we've got that air suspension raised up. But it kind of takes all those bumps. Oh, this is the first gear corner. Yeah, just power out. Yeah. It takes all the bumps without it getting upset. So you sort of maintain that balance, and your inputs, in the end, your inputs determine what happens. Little brake, power out. Oh. I hope that it comes across on camera what, you know, what kind of track this is and how this car sort of just glides over it. First gear. Whoa, that was it. So, back to the road. 0 to 100, 3.4 seconds, 100 to 200, 7.8, and it has a top speed of 312 kilometers an hour, which is proper. So I can't wait to drive it on the Autobahn in Germany. I hope we will be able to get that going soon. And that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Massive thanks to Lamborghini for inviting us to come and drive the Urus SE. You can subscribe by clicking the big button in the middle. You can check out this video, this playlist, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye.